Vision. I know vision is kind of this romantic concept for many that many companies post on their website and they have to post them, right? To me, it was always a matter of a formality for companies, but it turns out that it's probably one of the most important aspects in how we live our lives, to be honest with you. So that's why I wanted to share this with you very briefly. About me, I think all of you pretty much know my story, but I'm a Venezuelan American. I'm actually going to be here. I just turned 20 years in the US. So that's pretty crazy, pretty wild. I am a mechanical engineer with an MBA. I'm married. I have three kids, married for almost 20 years as well. And I went from corporate, as you know, Bob, I worked for Rexroth. I think most of you know that I worked for Rexroth for a long, long time. So I went all over the place from becoming Lean Six Sigma certified and doing some operations management through quality management as well, taking care of the quality systems for the whole facility. I became an ISO auditor, and then I moved on to sales after a while. So I've done pretty much like the whole around experience over into sales as well. And then I became an entrepreneur, right? The fun adventure of becoming an entrepreneur. I founded a business that I still run, co-founded some other businesses, and I've also invested in businesses here in the US. And overall, I'm also a musician, as you can see the picture down below here with my old band, which pretty much all of you know. I think Bob, you're also a musician, a
Yep,
drummer, if I'm not mistaken. So
that's
that was
great.
that was that was back about a year ago. But overall, I'm a connector, and right now with my tuned in coaching performance proposal, I help high performers. I mostly work with founders and CEOs grow their businesses by leveraging on who they are. So that's why I call it tuned in coaching, because I want everyone to tune into who they are at their core, to learn what their gifts are and to leverage on them to then chase a meaningful purpose, right? Instead of just chasing the money. So enough about me. Why vision? So again, going back to that concept that I was talking about is in any improvement process, anytime we want to improve something, we go through this overall cycle. And by the way, this same cycle applies to many things. Like I talked about quality, there's a PDCA cycle in quality that's called the Plan, Do, Check, Act, is exactly the same thing. You have the DMAIC in Lean Six Sigma, which is define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. Same thing. But let me tell you about when we go through a tough process in life, we generally trigger a personal growth process in us, right? And it usually goes through stage number one, which is becoming aware that there's something you need to improve. There's some challenge that life has presented to you, and you need to work it out of the system, some resistance, right? This awareness pillar or aspect of that continuous improvement process includes your self-awareness, getting to know yourself, okay? After that, you always have to define where you want to go. So the awareness phase is, where am I, right? What kind of problem am I having? Or where am I financially? Where am I personally, if you're looking into relationships? And then defining, where do I want to go? And I'm so hard on the vision because I've noticed one of the biggest issues in society is that we do stuff that other people tells us to do. We don't do stuff that moves us to our core. And that's where I think midlife crises come from, to be honest with you. So that's the second stage. How do we define the vision of exactly what it is that we want for our lives? Okay. Then we set an intention. Okay. Once we have the vision, then, okay, how am I going to go about pursuing that meaningful vision in our lives to then take action, and then going back into awareness, which is okay, I took action. Where am I again? And where am I against my vision? Okay. So does that make sense for all of you? Vision is not just in terms of your personal life. It can be in terms of, okay, business. I want to make more revenue. Perhaps I want to have a meaningful relationship. Fulfillment. I just want to feel fulfilled. I no longer feel like whatever I'm doing is connected to my actual purpose. Self-worth. This is a big, big thing that many of us have, is how can I value myself more? How can I do something that makes me value myself more? Hobbies, I talk about music a lot. Inner peace, connection, whatever it is for you, you can set that vision and then chase it with real intention. Okay. And overall, I talk about freedom. And for all of us, freedom means a different thing. But before we start, so everyone except for Pablo, this is a workshop, so let's get to work. Have pen and paper ready because I'm going to have you write down some stuff. Okay. We're going to get to work right now. Tell me, what are some of your biggest challenges starting 2024? If you could just name one or two challenges for this year, what would they be? I feel that whenever we have so much to give, the universe has no other way but to find us the way. And sometimes it is through some of these struggles, right? Because otherwise we have no resistance to work against. There's no worse place than to have absolutely no resistance because we were meant to create, just to give you some perspective. And I'm not just trying to be positive here, but I've noticed that when I get up and I have some resistance, it's like, okay, I have a purpose, right? I have a reason to get up and get the work that I'm here to do. All right, let's get going. I think this will help you guys at least set that vision, and then I'll give you some pointers as to how to execute that. What is your intention coming into this meeting? Like when you saw the invite, obviously some of you know, well, actually all of you know me pretty well. What is your intention? And I'm saying that because I'd like for you to consider setting your intention before doing anything critical in your life, anything important. Like it's so amazing when you set your intention before an important meeting, when you set your intention before a client meeting, as to how you want to show up. Are you clear on what your intention is showing up to this workshop? I guarantee you leave with concise ideas. And that's actually my plan is I want to get you guys' vision out. Not, and we'll get to that, but not society's vision, not your job, not your family, your own vision and what you want and what drives you. Okay, so let's get going. Thank you everyone for your response. My intentions coming in here, I want to empower you. I want you to get back in the driver's seat of your life. Many of us, when we struggle, when we find something that it's kind of a big challenge for us, we seem to drift, right? We wonder, why is this happening to me, instead of empowering ourselves to ask ourselves, what do I have to learn, or what can I learn from this situation moving forward? So I want to empower you. I want you to become intentional. I want to show you how powerful we can be when we become intentional about our lives. And I want you to change your perspective. I want you to stop looking at opportunities that come to you just because they came, just because of luck, and see how we're actually the artists of our lives. Like if we're, again, going back to the same things, if we're intentional, we can actually create the things that we want for our lives. Okay, so let's start. Rules of engagement. This is what I was talking about. I don't want you to talk about your mom's vision. I don't want you to talk about your dad's vision. I don't want you to talk about your neighbor, your family, your kids. And it sounds crazy to say it, but we unknowingly sometimes do things because of what our surroundings say we should do, okay? And that's why you feel so unfulfilled sometimes, or lost. The second thing is I want you to reprogram yourself to delete limitations from your mind, because I want you to come up with things that are meaningful to you and that are completely outside the box for you, okay? Imagine you're free to create anything you want. This is like the masterpiece of your life. You're creating it yourself. You're painting on a blank canvas. No limits, okay? I do not want you to think about your past experiences. We're defining you from today on. And the third one, which I absolutely love, is position yourself as the hero of your story. Believe it or not, you are now, imagine yourself as you're directing your own story. Your life is the movie. You are the hero character. We sometimes like to act as the victims. We like to act as supporting roles in someone else's stories. No, this is your story. So this is the first assignment. So assignments in Roman numbers. Describe your hero self. That's one thing that I'm not sure any of you have done, but it's an amazing exercise. So who would you be as the hero of your story? What time would you get up in the morning? What would you think upon waking up? Okay. What would you eat? What would you do with your body? Would you exercise? Would you not move? Would you make it stronger? How about your relationships in life and also your goals in life? How would you pursue your goals in life when you know you're the hero of the story? So this one, I'll let you do it yourself, but please do it because it sets a frame of reference for setting your vision. Okay. So describe your hero self. Now we can move on to defining your vision. So I have two different approaches that I wanted to share with you. Defining your vision has nothing to do with goals, with New Year resolutions. In fact, I hate New Year's resolutions. But it's more about getting out of you, getting out of your soul, what you really want to achieve in this life. Okay. So the first one, airport exercise. And those who know me, we've probably talked about this one. So here it goes. Imagine 5 years to 7 years from now, you go to the airport, you're flying somewhere, and you see this old friend of yours that you haven't seen in all these years. And they ask you, how is life going for you? And you can't wait to tell them all the great things that are happening for you. You tell them life is amazing, couldn't be better. You know, it's better than I ever dreamed. So airport exercise. So you meet this good friend of yours you haven't seen in years, and you tell them that life is amazing. So the question is, what would make you say that today? Grab a piece of paper. If you have just a regular piece of paper, you fold it in four. So there's a reason I want you to do it on paper. The first one is, I'm not sure you know these, but if you write something down, you're 34%, statistically speaking, you're 34% more likely to get it done. So if you have a piece of paper, you fold it in four, like so. So you have four basically different areas, okay? The next step is select what those four areas are for you in your life, the important areas. So I'm gonna write with you here. For me, they are family, personal, professional, and finances. And then under each of those areas, you're going to write down what would need to happen in your life for you to say that 5 to 7 years from now. Now, there's some rules, but I really want you to get into the exercise of writing down the things that would make you say your life is perfect and beautiful in those key areas of your life. Okay, so let's set a timer for 5 minutes. Let's get going. All right, did you guys get a chance to write anything? So I'm going to show you some examples. Examples, being really vague. Like, I'd like to get a salary increase from my employer. That is absolutely vague and meaningless. So the second thing is words are very, very, very powerful. So the I'd like, I would like means that you're starting from scarcity, okay? You don't have it yet. Remember, if you're meeting with your good friend, it means it's already happened. So you need to write it down as if it's already happened. And one, I really want us to stop struggling with debt. That's a negatively focused goal or vision, and it's based not just in scarcity, but in fear. You notice how we're trying to run away from fear instead of going towards building something meaningful, okay? So see how that goal is rooted in survival, not in creation. I want you to write goals that are rooted in creation, not in survival. That's really, really important to see what you're gonna be attracting your way. Okay. I'd like to stop fighting with my kids. Same thing. It's got the need, which starts from scarcity, and it's focusing your energies on stopping fighting instead of building a meaningful relationship. Okay. This is really, really important for you to know. I'd like to stop having toxic relationships. Same thing, same thing. So you have the piece of paper. Here's a better example. I make $250,000 a year from working a job I absolutely love that generates a meaningful impact on many people's typo there, well-being. They offer me great benefits and absolute schedule and location flexibility. I could not be more grateful. Now that's a goal that we can get excited about. Does that make sense? Second example, we happily pay all of our bills on time. Our costs, although increasing, are irrelevant versus our income level. We are financially free. That's a hell of a financial goal right there. And that would make you definitely say, I mean, you guys feel it, how it evokes a specific feeling in you versus the avoidance. The third one is my kids and I have a meaningful relationship based on unconditional love and respect. We see each other every single day and share amazing experiences together. Now let's dig deeper, guys. After we're done, I'd love for you to come up with your real vision. Like sit down, schedule some time, and write it down. But then go deeper. I want you to go deeper. I want you to, for each and every single one of those goals or vision points, I'd like you to write down why you want those things. For example, and there's a process in quality called the 5 why process. So let's say I make 250,000 a year. Okay, why do I want to make the $250,000 a year? It would allow me to pay my bills. It would allow me to provide for my family. Why do you want to provide for a family? Well, I want my kids to have a better future than the one I had, for example. Like I want the best for my children. Okay. Or for example, I would like, which is one of my things, is I'd like my kids to have amazing experiences together with me, because we memorize what we keep in our brains, our experiences. You know, we don't remember many things, but we'll never forget experiences we have with the people that we love. Okay. So that's what I want. I want to plant that seed of love through experiences. So for that, I need the money. How would that make me feel? Like if I imagine myself having those experiences with my kids in different parts of the world, I just feel fulfilled. I feel free. I feel happy. Okay. That's what I want to evoke in you. Figure out your why. Why do you want each of your whats on your list is really important. Because in the end, yeah, when you get to the real why, you may shed a tear or two. Don't be surprised. We really don't want the things, guys. We want the feelings that those things evoke. Okay. So in the end, we're chasing a feeling. You want the feeling behind that what. Okay. And by the way, new concept, things don't make us happy. Okay. But if we're inherently happy today and grateful, we'll actually attract things that makes us happy. So it's the other way around from how society taught us it was. Another new concept, the brain operates at different wavelengths, right? When we're right now, when I'm talking to you guys, I'm in beta wavelengths, and it's almost like an operating system. We have 95% of everything we do is subconscious. It comes from our subconscious. We all know that. The thing is, the subconscious lies in a different place in our operating system. So we can't just reprogram that system from operating in beta. We have to go into something called alpha wavelengths, which is a deeper level of relaxation. By the way, you're usually at that level naturally, both when you're waking up in the morning and when you go to bed at night. So that's why I'm telling you these. It is keep your vision. The reason I wanted you to write it down on paper is you can fold it and you can keep it nearby, okay, close to you. Because the next thing I want you to do is I want you to review every single thing on this list when you get up in the morning and before you go to bed at night. What that's going to do is that's going to go directly to your subconscious, and your subconscious will find all the different things in your life to attract those things to you. Believe it or not, that's what happens. Okay, that's why when you think you're grumpy and you're worried, you attract more things that make you grumpy or worried. It's the fact. It's a fact. It's because your subconscious, it's actually become your identity, and your subconscious is finding evidence of those things, okay? Because it's become your identity. So I want this thing, like your hero self, to become your identity. That's why we're doing the exercise, okay? That's why it's so powerful, and it's different from just setting a company vision exercise. If you want support, you know where to find me. I don't think I need to give this to you guys, but that's basically what I wanted to share with you. To set your vision, you'll have to schedule time to sit down and gain clarity. After you gain that clarity and after you figure out with the right language what your whys are, I really want you to focus on reading it so that you evoke those feelings and you attract things